you guys, he is 53 years old. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Gonna take a drink of my matcha, you guys. I love matcha. And then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch somehow or other it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinchly feet in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, didn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, needs a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. You guys, that has always been one of my favorite stories during the holidays. And I love, like, the difference between the plot in the movie and the plot in the book. But you guys, I